With every part of the country now easing restrictions, the nation's airlines, which have been devastated by the pandemic, are slowly trying to mark their own comebacks. Several airlines are beefing up schedules for July and beyond. But flying today still has a different look from what it used to have. Tom Costello recently flew from Baltimore to Orlando and found most travelers taking precautions seriously, but others, not so much.
For any frequent flyer, you'll notice as soon as you arrive at the terminal, this is not the air travel experience you've come to know. At normally bustling BWI Marshall, a hub for Southwest.
Pretty quiet here at the ticket counter at Southwest outside of Baltimore, and almost everybody you do see is wearing a mask.
No holdups at the security checkpoints, regular or pre-check.
And that is the fastest I've ever been through a TSA checkpoint.
Once inside, scarce crowds in the halls and eateries. The airport also installing hand sanitizer stations. Bella Middleton was among those wearing a mask.
You wonder about other people, what they're doing.
I myself had a heavy face mask along with gloves, and after our colleague Dr. Joseph Fair shared his experience of possibly contracting the virus in flight through his eyes, I wore glasses and goggles. We boarded the flight in small groups, but prior to getting on,
a lot of people there at the gate were not really keeping 6 feet distance.
Even with airlines taking extra steps to disinfect planes,
Shortly after takeoff,
I wasn't the only one sanitizing my area with wipes. With the flight about 2/3 full, a vast majority of the middle seats were left open. Along with trying to spread people out, airlines are trying to figure out how to screen passengers. United, now the first major carrier to give travelers a self-health assessment before check-in, asking them to confirm they haven't been diagnosed with COVID, had any symptoms like a fever or a cough, or come into contact with anyone who's been diagnosed in the previous 2 weeks. Something you may notice missing on your next flight: snacks and drinks. Southwest is suspending snack and beverage service for flights less than 250 miles. JetBlue limiting food and replacing glassware with single-use cups. Back in Florida, it's time for my return flight, and in Orlando, fewer masks in the terminal.
Close to the flight, I put on my mask, and
Otherwise, no.
yeah, not really.
You don't have a mask.
I actually have one in my bag. I just took it off because, you see, I'm sweating, so I couldn't breathe. I have bad anxiety, so I started hyperventilating, so I had to take it off for a moment.
Yeah. Does this add to anxiety when
Yes.
you're... Just like my flight down to Orlando, the return flight was about 2/3 full, with everyone wearing a mask on board. But upon landing, all the efforts to social distance suddenly went out the door. Passengers jumping up, packing the aisle to be first to deplane.
The CEO for American Airlines told shareholders he expects for this month they'll be losing about $40 million a day. But he says for now, even the fall is an uncertainty with how many flights they'll operate. The chance of getting in on a day one of mass testing in North Fargo are over, but you can try tomorrow. Details are next on Valley News Live at 6.